Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So today video is on integrating OData version 8 into .NET 7 application. So what is OData? OData is a open data protocol layer. Okay, so it can be applied over RESTful service. Okay, so it can be used for applying queries and filtering. So if you observe here, there are two OData query features are like $select, $order by, $filter, $skip, and $count and $expand. Using these queries, we can play with normal .NET 7 Web API. Okay, so let's create a .NET 7 Web API. Here to create a .NET 7 application, either you can use Visual Studio 2022 latest version or .NET CLI. Here I am using .NET CLI. Here is the CLI command for creating a Web API application. The command is .NET space new space Web API space -o represent create a output directory space name of my project. So let me create it. Project get created successfully. Let me open my project in Visual Studio Code Editor. Okay. So go to my project root folder, open command prompt and enter like code space dot. So it will open our project in Visual Studio Code. Okay. And once go to CS project file and you can observe the target framework, which is .NET 7. Okay. For this demo, to apply the queries of OData, I'm going to create a one table like employee table. Okay. These are the columns: ID, first name, last name, salary, job. Okay. Let me run my script. Okay. So it is successfully created the table. If I go to my database, if I refresh my table, you can see the employee table. Okay. Let me insert some dummy data into this table. So try to insert some test data like this. Now I am going to use NT framework core and implement database context for fetching the data. Let's create a folder like data and a child folder like entities. Inside of it, I will create a class that represent my employee table. Okay. So let me create a class like employee.cs. Let's add properties into this class. So let's copy the column names, add them here. So define properties. Okay. Change the property names and their types. First name, string, and it can allow null values. Okay. Last name, string, and it can allow null values. Okay. Salary, decimal, can allow null values. Job role, string, can allow null values. Let's remove these. Okay. Final output of employee class. Now we have to work on database context. So to work with database context class, let's install two required packages. One is EF Core, another is EF Core SQL. Okay. Search like EF Core new get. Click on the top link. Visual Studio users copy the command from Package Manager tab. .NET CLI, copy from here. Copy, open terminal, paste command, run the command. Okay, package installed successfully. To cross verify, go to csproj and check the package reference. Now, search like EF Core NuGet SQL Server. Click on the link. So copy the package, open terminal, clear logs, add the command and run it. Okay, this package also installed. I can check in csproj. Here are the two latest installed package references. Fine. Now under data folder, let me create a database context class. I will give my database context name that matches my database name. Okay. So let me copy this. Okay. Let me give that name. .cs. Let me remove underscore. Okay. Let me remove YouTube also. Let's give simple myvoldb.cs. In real time, just give exact name of your database. If you have any underscores, hyphens, like those things, just remove them. Just given myvoldb, right? Let's change the name like myvoldb context. Okay. Please rename it to myvoldb context. So now inherit db context. Okay. Okay, that comes from Microsoft.NT Framework Core. Let's add constructor and inject DB context options. These options we are going to get from our program.cs, where we are going to register some settings like database connection string. And type, just give our context class type and pass those options to base class, nothing but our DB context class. So in database context, table classes must be registered. Okay. Public DB set and specify table class type, that is employee. Okay. And give the property name employee, give exact name of our table. Okay. So now let's register our database context in the program.cs file. The reason we register so that it can injected by the DI wherever we want. Okay. Builder.services.add DB context and specify the type of our context. Okay, here I can add options. And options dot use SQL server. This is my server, right? Database server that comes from Microsoft.NT Framework Core. Okay, so into this SQL server, we need to pass the connection string. So let's prepare the database connection string. So for our demo, I can add my database connection string in appsettings.development.json. Here, let me create connection string property. So this is a default property in the JSON file. Okay. Inside of it, we need to add one property. To that property, we have to assign our connection string. Okay. I will name my property like my old DB connection. So here let's add the connection string. Connection string is made up of key value pairs. Okay, data source key and its value SQL server name. Okay, and initial catalog key and value our database name. Okay, this is my database name. You can check here my database name and integrated security true. I am using my system Windows authentication and connection timeout. Okay, go to program.cs file. Here we need to access our connection string from the app settings.development.json file. I can use builder.serve builder.configurations.connection string get connection string. So to this connection string method, we should pass the root property, this one, my old DB connection. Copy that and paste it here. Okay, we are done with database context. Now let me create a controller like employee controller. Inside of the controller folder, let me add a new controller, employee controller. So first inject our database context into the controller. Private read only my old DB context. Now let me create a simple get endpoint. So let me add a get action method. Public async task I action result. Okay, get and action method register with HTTP get. Okay, and here I can use my database context to fetch the data from the database. So employees await my old DB context employee to list async because we are using asynchronous call. So to list async need to import from Microsoft.NT framework core. So this is going to create a query like select star from employee means we will get collection of data and we will simply return the result. Okay, first let's test this endpoint. So .NET CLI to run our application command is like .NET space watch and run. I want to run it in watch mode. Okay, here is my endpoint. Let's try to execute the endpoint. I'm getting some error, invalid column job role ID. I think I added wrong property. This is simple job role, not job role ID. Let's save and click on Control R to rebuild. Now if I check again, okay, here I am getting API response. Up to this point, I just created normal web API. Now let me integrate OData. Okay, so to use OData or to apply OData into our web API, we need to install a package. Okay, search like Microsoft ASP.NET Core OData NuGet. Okay, click on the top link. Okay, make sure to install the version 8 only. Okay, because from version 8, OData supports work with normal web API routing. Okay, before version 8, we have to use the special design routing of the OData, means OData routing. We cannot use web API routing. But from OData 8 onwards, we can use normal web API routing and we can integrate OData also. Okay, so let me install the OData 8. Open one more terminal. Paste the command and install the package. Let's check CS project and I can see package reference. Okay. Now let's register the OData service to our add controller service in the program.cs file. All right, here is the our add controller. Okay. So here let me add the service like add OData. Okay. And import the namespace. Inside of it, we have to configure our OData queries. Okay. Take it and I can directly give options dot select. Okay. I am integrating select query, filter query, and count query, and order by query, and expand. Okay. These are the major queries. Now to make our action method OData method, we have to apply one attribute like enable query. Okay, what it will do means it will enable the OData queries for our action method. Okay, let's check it. Let's rerun the project. Okay, let me take the URL. So here I just invoke normal web API. Okay, to use it like a OData URL, copy the URL. Okay, and open it in the browser or the Postman. Okay, so now it is a normal web API. Now I will make it as a OData endpoint. So add a query. First, let's explore the select query. So I will apply select query. To apply any OData query, starts with dollar. Okay, select. Okay, and I want to fetch from this data. I want to select only few properties. Okay, just I want first name. Okay, so I can simply specify. I can simply specify like first name. I give appropriate name. This first name should be the property name. Okay, so whichever properties you want to fetch in the response, please add them. Okay, so if I try to access the endpoint, see, I am getting only first name. So if I add ID separated by comma, see ID. So separated by comma, salary, the salary. So select query is to select the required properties in the response. Okay. So if you observe the query, here is the logs console. Here it is fetching all the data from the database. Okay. That means in the controller we have an action method, right? So tool is testing, gets all data from the database and assigns to the employees and return to the OK. Whenever response is returning, at that time, our OData filter will filters the only required properties or requested properties in the query. So here it is applying querying on the in-memory. Okay, but you can apply OData select query values directly into the SQL query. Okay, how to do means we should not call toolist async. Okay, what we have to do means we have to call or we have to return as queryable return type. Okay, as queryable. Since I am using as queryable, I cannot use asynchronous call. I should use a normal call. But the benefit is for the as queryable, if you return, benefit is the select query values. Whatever the fields we are requesting, that select query directly will apply to the this SQL select statement. Well, I will show you how it will work. Okay, let's rerun the application. Okay, let me access the endpoint again. Here I am accessing. Let's first access only first name. I got result. If I check log, carefully check the log here. You see, here now we have only first name and ID. ID by default will be added in the query, but ignore it. But if you check remaining columns, only first name is coming. That is because we requested in the select query only first name. For suppose if I add salary, means I am requesting two properties. And now if you check the logs, here now see first name and salary. Here you can see this is previous query, only first name. That means using iQueryable return type, as queryable return type, our OData select query values can be directly applied to the entity framework query. Okay, so that is the benefit. And another one benefit, only we can get required properties. Okay, that's about the select query in OData. Next operator, filter. Okay, so to use filter, dollar filter. Okay, so filter is like where condition. Okay, you can check like equal to some specific value, not equal to some specific value, greater than some specific value, greater than or equal to some specific value, less than and less than or equal. Okay, so here there are some keywords. Okay, so I want to apply a filter. If you observe here in salary, we have two records with 19,000 salary. Okay, let's fetch only those two records. To that, what I can do, first add filter dollar dot filter equal to, and I want to filter by salary, right? So I can call that property salary, and I want to equals to salary 19,000. So space equals to, this is an equals to operator. If you want to use less than, LT. If you want less than or equal to, LE. Okay. If you want to use greater than, GT. If you want use greater than or equal to, GE. Okay. And if you want to use not equals to, NE. If you want to use equals to, then the keyword will be EQ, equals to 19,000. That means here I am requesting only records where salary equal to 19,000. So let's access it. See, I am getting only salary with 19,000. If I check the query, how it is generated, select query, and here is the where condition on salary property. Okay, that means our select filter directly applied on the EF core query generation. Okay, and along with filter, if you want, you can apply select as well. Just use ampersand dollar select. I want to get salary. Okay, property names these are, comma, another property I want first name, salary first. Okay, so here we apply both filter and select query. Okay, that's about filter. Next, order by. We can sort the data with order by also. Let me remove these filters, queries. Okay, now here we getting ascending order, right? No order is applying, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me sort this response by descending order. Okay, for that, what I can do, apply question mark, dollar keyword. Query keyword is order by. So I want to order by ID, property ID. Okay, so which order I want? Descending, space DESC. Now access the endpoint. See, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, descending order. And if you check the query, here see, order by ID descending. Okay, so our order by query also working perfectly. If you want to add a select filter also, you can add here. Okay, so with the help of OData, one action method can return n number of different types of response data based on our query request. Very nice, right? So that is the advantage. Disadvantage, if you want our filters directly apply on the database, we cannot use async. That is one disadvantage. If you want to use async, then you have to use toolist. Then disadvantage is we have to fetch all the data from the database. On the response, it will apply filters. Okay. So we just discussed order by. Next, I can also do skip. Okay. So let's access normal endpoint. Okay. I want to skip first two records. Okay. First two records means ID 1 and 2. So for that, what you can do means question mark dollar skip two records, top two records. Okay. Now my response starts from ID 3, 4. 1 and 2 records are skipped. That is the use of skip query operator. Okay. And if you want to take top records, there is a one more. Okay, let's see skip query also how EF code generated. I forgot to show. See, skip it is using offset of rows. Okay, that is about skip. Next, top records. So for top records, you can use top dollar. I want only one record from the top. Okay, so here is an exception while using top. What it is specifying means top that start with dollar not supported. Okay, some spaces issue. Dollar top equal to 1. Okay, now error is changed. What is the error now? The query specified URL is not valid. The limit of 0 of top query has been exceeded. Okay, and the value incoming is 1. Value incoming means I am requesting one record, but the limit of top record is 0. That is because if you want to use top query operator, you need to set the maximum records value here. Okay, then only it will get top records. Okay, so I can set like max top. I will set like 100 records, maximum top records. Okay, save it and rerun. Now, if I access this endpoint, see, now I got one record since I am requesting top one record. If you request top three records are coming. Okay, now let's check the EF core query. See, select top. Okay, that means this is also directly applying to the SQL server. Okay, so what kind of filters, query filters of OData till now we discussed? If you recall, select we discussed, filter we discussed, count is discussed, order by is also discussed, and top also discussed. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the expand. Okay, so expand is like when you have a one-to-many relationship, means parent and child table. In that case, expand can be used. Okay, that we are going to discuss in next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video delivered some useful content to you all. If you like the video, please do support me by subscribing to channel, and please don't forget to like and share the video. Soon we are going to meet with new content. Until then, signing off.